It's an early morning in the Queen City and more than 1,600 competitors having to switch the body clock in as they count down to the 2013 State Harbour Crossing. As the sun rises over the city of Auckland, 1,600 competitors getting ready for the 10th annual State Harbour Crossing. And so, what is the motivation for so many people to try and get from Auckland's North Shore to the viaduct?
Why are you swimming the Harbour Crossing today?
For adventure.
Why are you back year after year?
Oh, because it's always great fun.
So why are you swimming the Harbour Crossing, sir?
Mate said I couldn't do it, so I just said I would.
You want to prove him wrong?
Yeah, he's on the other side already as well, so he'll be coming in behind me.
Why are you doing it today?
Just a challenge. Yeah, it's Auckland. It's one of the few cities in the world that do that.
Have you done this before?
No, never. No. I've done sea swims before though.
You must be tremendously excited about today.
Yeah, no, excellent. Yeah, this early in the morning you get up, must be.
Apprehension, excitement, nerves, all the emotions going through the minds, the bodies of these competitors as they make their way down to the swim start, picking up their final race instructions, making sure they are numbered, and of course making sure they're in the right swim wave.
You're swimming without a wetsuit today, is that the plan?
Yes, that's the plan.
Yep. Why is that your preference?
Because I'm not rich enough to afford a wetsuit, I'm a student. But I don't think, even if I had the money, I'm not sure I would race in a wetsuit. I quite enjoy racing in togs.
This is our first across the harbour swim. Okay, and we're hoping that Abby's going to be not too fast.
So while the competitors prepare themselves, go through their tactics, let's have a look at today's swim course. Pretty much a straight line from Bayswater Marina on Auckland's North Shore to the viaduct. A total distance of 2.9 kilometres, 10 orange markers for the swimmers to follow. Well, weather conditions so important. Here is Glenn Lama with the forward forecast.
Well, thanks, Mark, and we're going to start off by looking at the overhead conditions. A bit cloudy today. It was supposed to be sunny. That the cloud might break off, but that's looking good overhead. The wind is the big key factor today. There's just a 5-knot westerly forecast to come up, and that is the weakest wind in the 10-year history of this event. So perfect overhead conditions for the swimmers, and on the water it is calm as well. So it's going to be a beautiful experience for all 1,700 swimmers crossing the harbour this morning.
And it is a quality elite field. They'll be enjoying the conditions today.
What are your goals today, Kane?
Obviously it's to go out and win, there's no point in going out and not trying to win. It's what we're in this race for, to go out there and win it.
And you've won this 4 from 5 attempts. Are you feeling any pressure to maintain that outstanding record?
No, I don't really look at it as pressure, I go out to have fun, but within the fun make sure that, I'm going for the win. But you've got to have fun out there. If you're not having fun, there's no point.
Well, Jared, welcome to New Zealand. It's your second time here, isn't it? You were here a couple of years ago and you came fourth?
Yeah, a couple of years ago when I think I was about 16, came over and did it. And yeah, it's good to be back. It's a pretty good swim.
Well, you're giving this series a good nudge this year, aren't you? You're swimming 3 races, you want to win the series.
Yeah, definitely. That's the goal, to give that overall series a crack and see what happens.
What are your goals for the series?
Hopefully to build on it this year. Last year I started strong and faded away, so this year I'm hoping to build. So
now you're going to miss any boys this year?
No, I've definitely got my left from right. So the last 3 are on my right. So if I do it again, then I shouldn't be swimming it again.
How's your form?
I'm good. I've been training pretty hard and really excited to get in and have a race. It's been a couple of weeks since I've raced, so it's really good to get out there and see what you can do after a few weeks of training.
Yeah, looking forward to both the elite men's and women's races. Well, joining me in commentary today, former national swimming representative Scott Rice. And Scott, we've seen the first wave of competitors making their way into the water. 6 waves today, 1 minute apart.
That's right, they are 6 groups speed seeded, meaning they are swimming with people of similar swimming ability, makes for an easier start. You can see some of those elite swimmers. The number 1 green cap of Kane Radford, 2 pink is the Australian Jared Port. It's going to be a great race up front today.
We are set for a start. The hooter goes, the crowd goes up, the 10th annual State Harbour Crossing is underway. It is one of the most magnificent sights in all of sport, the start of an open water swim, and this is so important here. It is through the first 200 to 300 metres. Our elite swimmers will look to try and get some clear water, try and sort out early on who is prepared to take the lead and who is prepared just to settle in on the feet, on the hip of the swimmers in front of them, and maybe look to just conserve some energy.
Well, we can immediately see Philip Ryan, the 2011 open water champion in the sleeveless wetsuit, taking a slender lead over Radford and Dylan Dunlop-Barrett. And this all-important first 200 metres of the swim to sort themselves out, get their own space.
And so we immediately do see a much higher arm turnover going on at the moment, and it is the silver cap, as you alluded to, Scott, in Philip Ryan. Dunlop-Barrett there in the orange cap, and this is always a great sight for the swimmers too, to see the water safety craft out on the water, and there'll be a paddler up front making sure that these competitors do ultimately take the straightest line across the harbour. And now immediately in the red cap for the first time, this is Troy Belvert, 800 metre New Zealand swim champion in 2013.
It really is a quality field this morning, Mark. Some of the best New Zealand open water swimmers, and we've got the first of our Australians coming over. That is Wally Eagleton and Jess Walker from the Gold Coast and Jared Port from Sydney.
So they're spread about 10 metres wide at the moment, and so the spectators enjoying this view early on here at Bayswater Marina. And Nathan Capp, a 400 metre IM specialist, a member of the New Zealand swim team this year at the World Championships, deciding that he wants to empower himself, he wants to go to the front, he wants to dictate to the rest of these swimmers and not be dictated to.
So they can swim either side of the big orange markers until they reach the viaduct on the other side. And so Capp got about a body length lead over Radford. A nice relaxed pace at the moment. They'll be wanting to feel each other out, find out what tactics, what navigation, what way they're going to take this course across to the other side of the Auckland Harbour. And that is Cap leading, Radford in second in the green cap, and the orange cap of Jared Port out of Australia in third place.
And Jared Port today deciding not to wear a wetsuit. He's in fact swimming in a skin suit, and that's very much his prerogative. The Australians generally not used to wearing wetsuits, so they like to just have a little bit more flexibility across the shoulders. As we have a look now at Charlotte Webby, she is, by the looks of it, towards the front of this women's field in the green cap with the number 1 on it. But this is a very good swim from young Emma Robinson. Now, she was second at the 2013 New Zealand Open Water 10K Championships.
And also a member of the FINA World Champs team earlier this year. And this is a look at Jess Walker out of the Gold Coast in Australia. She was 5th at the World University Games over 10K and currently the 4th ranked Australian over 10 kilometres.
And back at the front of this race, it is Nathan Capp who still continues to lead this men's race and overall. And Scott, nice and relaxed, long stroke, almost looks like he is swimming in a pool.
Well, this is what calm conditions can do for these swimmers. They can lengthen that stroke. Usually the choppier water will shorten the stroke up and obviously pull the head out more regularly to find out where they need to go.
And Kane Radford doing a nice job there, just sitting on the hip, just trying to conserve some energy. And in the orange cap, Dylan Dunlop-Barrett tucked in. And the big threat possibly to Kane Radford, Jared Port out of Australia. Again, looking very relaxed indeed.
As they head past the second of the large orange state markers, this signifies about 600 metres into the swim. So still a good chunk of the race to go as the lead lifeguards just paddle alongside, checking out these swimmers. And that group, a solid group of 6 to 7 of our elite males.
And Kane Radford now beginning to make his move. He's decided enough is enough, and I think the first real surge, the first real attack of this 2013 State Harbour Crossing is coming. Now they're going to need to react, and Dylan Dunlop-Barrett, we see some urgency coming from him in the orange cap wearing the number 3. What will the Australian do? Port, he's just rolled over, he's had to adjust his glasses, so the opportunity, the door has been opened, and so far Kane Radford doing everything right.
And back to the ladies' field now. This is Grace Somerville in the orange cap. And the red cap, it is Courtney Carson out of Lower Hutton, Wellington. So a very close race there amongst the females as well. And a little bit of a split in the field here, Mark.
Yeah, well, I think Nathan Capp has just been taken off guard here. He's lost a little bit of concentration, but this is the one competitor we do need to keep an eye on, Philip Ryan. He's well and truly experienced when it comes to the State Ocean Swim Series. He's a class act indeed. Maybe he knows something these others don't, but if I was him, like an America's Cup race, I'd be coming back across and just making sure he covers.
Well, that's right. I mean, races have been won and lost. A little bit of argy-bargy here. Look at the argy-bargy. A little bit of... certainly not intentional, I think, just just swimming into each other, and Dylan Dunlop-Barrett just losing his goggles momentarily, but back on track now, and Philip Ryan 50 metres out to the west, and as you said, Mark, he won't be out there, want to be out there too long, but hey, this could be the best line.
Well, equally too, though, Kane Radford has got to make sure that he's not looking across at Philip Ryan and saying, hey, where am I? Am I getting this right? He's got to make sure that he clears any doubt out of his head. But interesting to see just a little bit of argy-bargy there. That is the nature of open water swimming. Again, it's a sport that's technique-based, Scott, and you've got to make sure you maintain your composure.
So the yellow mark of the state marker signifying 1,100 metres, still 1.8 kilometres yet to swim, and the capless swimmer, this is Jared Port, and this group of 4, Nathan Cap still hanging in there, but it is bunch swimming, and a lot of these swimmers choosing to draft in behind other swimmers, that is to swim on the toes of the other swimmers and conserve energy and just be pulled along much like a cyclist.
Well, now we're just starting to see the pace go on as we go back to Charlotte Webby leading this women's race by the looks of it in the green cap.
Well, an accomplished open water swimmer, Webby, out of New Plymouth, still relatively young at 25 years of age, and had a great year winning a couple of big events overseas, and unlucky to win this event last year by missing a marker buoy.
Oh, she's tough, Charlotte Webby, but boy, a very good race developing at the front of this men's race. It just looks like Jared Port has taken a narrow lead. Kane Radford, Dylan Dunlop-Barrett in there. Now we start to see that stroke rate just begin to increase.
Well, he's a very talented pool and open water swimmer. He's been to 2 Olympics in the 1,500 metres freestyle, currently the 5K Australian open water champion, and this group of elite swimmers will want to close that gap as quick as they can.
So they're approaching halfway in the 2013 State Harbour Crossing. It is the Australian Port leading New Zealand's Kane Radford. Yes, welcome back into the coverage of the 2013 State Harbour Crossing. Some wonderful views of downtown Auckland. Our elite swimmers, our competitors, more than 1,600, approaching the halfway mark of this 10th anniversary event. And at the moment, it is still the Australian Jared Port with a narrow lead over Kane Radford in the green cap and Dylan Dunlop-Barrett in the orange cap. But now we're just starting, Scott, to see the 2 Kiwis looking to work the Aussie over. He's going to have to maintain his composure here. This is good swimming, ganging up on the Aussie.
Well, Radford really starting to feel that this is his time. This is when he needs to start putting the kick in, increasing the arm turnover. So Radford getting half a body length on Port, but remember we do have Philip Ryan, who's 50 metres out to the west, looking to be on par with them or possibly in front.
Yeah, the problem for Philip Ryan is he's got to do all the work himself. As we just go back and have a look in the green cap there of Charlotte Webby. She's leading this women's race, but only a narrow lead over Jessica Walker in the pink cap. But back to the front of the men's race, Kane Radford just with the narrowest of leads. Jared Port from Australia in the middle there with the sleeveless skin suit, and just out to his left-hand side, it is Dylan Dunlop-Barrett in the orange cap.
Well, Radford's got the nickname of GPS. He knows these courses well. He has won this event 4 times in its history, and so he'll be looking for the best possible line. So I think a lot of these swimmers are just looking to hug and try and stay with Radford. They know he'll be getting the best line. But at some point in time, someone's going to have to really put the foot down, and the rest are going to have to try and hold on.
So Philip Ryan still rolling the dice out to the west. Radford leading, Dylan Dunlop-Barrett in the orange cap, and Wally Eggleton, the second of the Australians, in the black cap.
Well, he's a talented 1,500 metre swimmer as well, swims just over 15 minutes. He was unlucky to miss the 2012 London Olympics. But back to look at our race leader out of Rotorua, New Zealand. Well, he's now based in Perth, training with the 10K Australian champion. He's won this event 4 times, as we've said before, and he's currently taking a bit of a hold on the 2013 State Harbour Crossing.
I like the fact too, Kane Radford has moved across to Australia. He realises he might have to do some things differently if he really wants to achieve in the sport what he set out to achieve, and that is making Olympic Games.
Yeah, very impressive. You know, I think it's a big step in his career. He's still young, and he's doing some huge miles over there with Mainstone. He's got the opportunity to race regularly against very, competitive open water fields. So I think this is, a great thing for Radford.
So some wonderful shots coming off the water. The DHL surf lifeguards doing a magnificent job for all the competitors. And we're now just starting to see some real splits amongst this elite men's field. Nathan Cap out to the right-hand side in the light blue cap, now beginning to make his move, and so a little bit more urgency suddenly then coming from Kane Radford. He's been looking very much at Dylan Dunlop-Barrett and maybe just underestimating this, so another little decisive break, some wonderful tactics being employed by Nathan Cap.
Look, we've seen so many swimmers come from the pool into the ocean and really get a wake-up call. It is so different. There's a mental game going on here too. You know, you're not swimming in your own lane, you're next to each other, you're having to look up, you're having to do all these sorts of things you don't do in the pool. And, you know, the one that wins at the end of the day does it and puts everything together the best they possibly can.
Well, he's an impressive character, Dylan Dunlop-Barrett. Childhood dream came true when he made that Olympic Games team in 2012. From Taranaki, he comes from a very good surf life-saving background. In fact, was a member of the World Championship New Zealand team from 2011. That in itself a remarkable achievement, particularly when you look at where surf life-saving's place in Australian sport is.
This is the part of the race where these swimmers are starting to say, I need to do something special. And look, Philip Ryan has fallen behind out to the west. So it now looks to be Dylan Dunlop-Barrett's race to lose. He's starting to get a 4 or 5 body length lead over the chase group of Radford, Port and Cap.
Well, only 250 metres to go. A large crowd will wait all of our swimmers as they make their way into the viaduct. And nobody at this point knows who's going to win this race. But Dylan Dunlop-Barrett continues to put the pressure on Radford. Radford now, though, begins to respond. The Australian Port in there as well. We could be in for one of the great finishes.
Well, this is one of those things in open water swimming. You can do the distance, you're going to do the endurance, but it comes down to the sprint as they reach the final marker buoy in the State Harbour Crossing.
Well, the arm turnover will be incredibly high at this point. You'll see the kick come into play. Kane Radford in the green cap. He's taking the lead again from Dylan Dunlop-Barrett, but they do have to get out of the water. They've got to run up a little set of stairs. That's going to be incredibly tough, but Radford now beginning to tighten the screws. What can Dylan Dunlop-Barrett do? I'm not sure he's got the answer at the moment. Can Kane Radford make it 5 victories in the State Harbour Crossing? They will get to their feet. We will know in a moment. They will be suffering like you cannot imagine. Radford will touch first. He gets to his feet. Kane Radford will take out the 10th anniversary. He is your champion in 2013.
It's a disappointing stuff for Dylan Dunlop-Barrett. He tried his best. He had a good lead into the viaduct. Port comes into third. Nathan Cap rounds out the top 4. What a race amongst these elite men. One of the closest in the history of the event. But where's Wally? Here he is. Wally Eggleton makes his way in 5th place today. A good effort. And he'll be back, I'm sure, for another couple of attempts to win this event. And here's Philip Ryan, the 2011 New Zealand Open Water champion. A respectable effort for him. He took off to the west for most of the race and swum on his own as we wait for the first of our females to come home.
And it is Charlotte Webby once again out of Taranaki who will take this women's title. What a class act. Boy, she's a tough competitor when it comes to open water swimming.
Well, Kane, congratulations, mate. What's it, 4 or 5 wins now in this Harbour Crossing? But today you really had to work for it.
Yeah, you know, those boys really pushed me hard out there. It's, you know, when they're out there, it's always going to be a tough race, and to give them all credit, you know, they really pushed me hard, and it's not something that they normally do. So it was definitely good to get up and bring in the legs that last little bit. That's what we've been working on, and just sitting back a little bit, so it was really good.
So well done. I mean, congratulations. Just describe the race from your point of view. How did it go for you?
It went pretty solid. I actually thought, I was in a group of 3 and I thought there was a silver cap, so I thought it was Emma. So I was working the whole way of just trying to stay with her and then try beat her up the run, but it turns out it was actually a boy. But it was a very long, hard 3K, but I'm really happy with it.
Wonderful insight into just how tactical open water swimming is. Well, confirming our men's result, Kane Radford wins his 5th title in a time of 33 minutes and 59 seconds. Outstanding swim from Dylan Dunlop-Barrett. Jared Port rounding out our top 3.
And Charlotte Webby winning quite convincingly by about 30 seconds over the Australian Jessica Walker, and a surprise 3rd place from Wellington, Courtney Carson. A fantastic effort.
While the elites are recovering, it is an opportunity to welcome home a number of our competitors, more than 1,600. And I tell you what, from all different walks of life, some people here for the first time, others more experienced. And one person we should be keeping an eye on is Blues coach, former All Black, a legend of the game, the great Sir John Kerwin. He's in the green cap, sitting just behind another legend, former triathlete, 2-time world champion, Rick Wells.
Well, they're in it for, you know, for the challenge, just like everyone else in the water today, to beat their time from last year, just to complete the crossing. And what a fantastic effort by John.
Okay, John, are you happy?
Yeah, no, really happy. It was fantastic. Lovely experience. great swimming with someone like Rick, and I just really got into a bit of a rhythm and just enjoyed it more than anything.
Did you have a chat? Were you talking about things across the harbour today?
Yeah, major conversation.
No, good fun, eh? I mean, did you achieve what you wanted to achieve personally, John, today?
Yeah, exactly. I think doing it, bucket list. I'm a proud Aucklander, so to be able to actually swim the harbour that you've been driving around and looking at all your life is a real achievement. Doesn't really matter about the time, but I'm pretty happy with the time we got. So it sort of gives me a bit of a double gear, Spiritually, I'm really happy, and then from a competitive point of view, next year I've got a time to try and beat.
And everybody's out there for a different reason.
Well, in November last year, I actually came off a horse. I was bucked off a horse and cracked my T1 vertebrae. And so I decided that I needed to try and get fit again and do something. And we happened to go into Northern Arena with my kids swimming. They had a 2-week free trial of their gym membership, and I said, I can't really do that. And they said, but you can do the swimming. And I went, yes, absolutely. So I went in there and I got to the point where I could swim easily, and my back was actually back in line with, long time. One of the instructors said to me, why don't you try ocean swimming? And I went, all right then, there's a challenge. And so that's what I've done.
And with this event being the 10th anniversary, it's only appropriate we see Neil Kench, who's done all 10 State Harbour crossings.
Yeah, congratulations to him. Certainly one of the nice guys of the sport.
Well, Neil, here we are. You've done this 10 years in a row. Why have you done this 10 years in a row?
Oh, just for the fun of it. It's great getting out, and swimming across the harbour is just a fantastic experience, and love the swim. It's great, and it's part of the series, the Ocean Series, which I enjoy doing. So
now, has it been as flat and as calm as this in the 10 years?
No, we've never had a swim this flat and calm, which is nice for a change. I have to say I prefer it when it's a little bit rough and a little bit choppy. So.
Well, if you're inspired by what you've seen today, you want to get involved in the State New Zealand Ocean Swim Series. 5 races still to come, the next being early in December, the Bay of Islands Classic. And if you enter the Bay of Islands Classic before midnight this Sunday, the 24th of November, you'll go on the draw to win a trip to the Samoa Swim Series. Equally, you can get free entry to the series by helping us raise money for our official charity, Surf Lifesaving. Check out the website for more details, oceanswim.co.nz.
See you all next year. That's a bucket list. Everyone who's in Auckland has got to do that.